All right. For this module, we will be covering the second part, wherein our focus will now be on Spearman correlation using JASP. In our previous video, we have covered how to run Pearson product moment correlation using JASP. So this is the second part of this module. Now, our focus would be running non-parametric correlation, and that involves Spearman's correlation. So if your data is ordinal, okay, or one of the two variables that you have would be ordinal, or if both of them are continuous, or in that sense would be in the interval or in the ratio level, then we may possibly use the Spearman's correlation if your continuous data has violated the assumptions required for the parametric testing, which has something to do with the uh, bivariate normality, okay, and also if they do not follow the linear relationship, or there is a at least a nonlinear monotonic trend existing between the two variables, then you can opt to use the Spearman's correlation. Okay. Now, the Spearman's correlation is based on ranking data and are not affected by outliers or normality or variance violations. Okay, so that's why we can use the Spearman's correlation if the assumption for the normality would be violated. All right. Now, the Spearman's rank order correlation, which we will often refer to it as Spearman's correlation for the rest of our discussion, calculates a coefficient which we will denote by R sub S, okay, or this Greek notation or Greek symbol rho, okay, which is a measure of the strength and direction of the association or relationship between two continuous or ordinal variables. Okay, now what are the assumptions that we have to keep in mind for the use of Spearman's correlation? The first one, you have two variables that are measured on a continuous and or ordinal scale. So if at least one of the two variables is in the ordinal level, automatic, you use the Spearman's correlation. If both are in the continuous level, or both are continuous variables, that is either in the interval or in the ratio level, then you and they have violated the assumption for normality or does not follow a linear relationship, then you can use the Spearman's correlation. Okay, so the three scenarios would be two continuous variables, or the two of them are in the ordinal level, okay, or one of them is ordinal and one is in the continuous level. You can use the Spearman's correlation, right? And here, examples of continuous variables are those that are measured in the interval or in the ratio level. Okay. And ordinal variables would include, let's say, Likert items. Okay. Or let's say, for example, physical activity level. Right. And the pain felt by patients after hip replacement surgery that are categorized as no pain, mild pain, moderate pain, strong pain, and severe pain, so on and so forth. So these are examples of those types of variables for the first assumption that we have. For the second assumption, your two variables, okay, are would represent what we refer to as paired observations. So meaning to say, for example, imagine that you are interested in the relationship between daily cigarette consumption and amount of exercise performed each week. A single paired observation reflects the score on each variable for a single participant. That is, the daily cigarette consumption of participant 1 and the amount of exercise performed each week by the same participant. So there are two measures for each participant that you have. So with 30 participants in the study, this means that there would be 30 paired observations. Okay? Now, the third assumption is that there needs to be a monotonic relationship between the two variables, and you can check this assumption by plotting a scatter plot and visually inspecting the graph. In our previous or in the first part of our discussion for this module involving Pearson correlation, we were presented with the following figures. Okay, so the moment it follows a linear trend, okay, without violations for normality, you can use the Pearson correlation. Okay, however, The moment it is not linear, but then the trend is monotonic, mean to say the trend is in one direction, either it goes up, okay, or it goes down, okay, in this case, then you have a monotonic relationship. You can use the Spearman's correlation. The third figure that you see here is non-monotonic. Basically, it's non-linear, non-monotonic. Non-monotonic because what we see here is that there are two trends. So from this side, from the left, as we go to the right, the trend increases. From this point forward, it starts to decrease. So it's not monotonic anymore. Okay? So what we want is a monotonic relationship existing between the two variables for the use of the Spearman's correlation. Right. Now, to give us an idea of what our data is about, okay, so that we can demonstrate how to run Spearman's correlation using JASP, okay, let's consider the following. A sample of 192 psychology students were asked to complete a self-report questionnaire on self-control involving low, moderate, high, and very high categories and their academic performance. The study aims to determine if there is a relationship between self-control and academic performance. Now take note, the paired variables that we have here are self-control that is categorized as low, moderate, high, very high, which will be in the ordinal level. So this is our ordinal data. The second variable is academic performance, which is an interval data. Okay, hence Spearman correlation will be used. So take note, because at least one is in the ordinal level. Okay? If both are at least in the interval level or in the ratio level, violations in normality and linear relationship will indicate the use of Spearman correlation. Okay? So I hope this is clear, all right? Now, here in the next slides that we will see, or the next part of the presentation, we will see the procedure on how to run Spearman correlation using the JASP software. Okay, so let's open your spearman.jasp file in Canvas. Okay, when you open that, you will see these two columns. The first column pertains to self-control, and that is categorized as low, moderate, high, very high. The second column will be their academic performance. Okay, now what are the things we need? Okay, in order for us to generate the correct outputs needed for analysis involving the Spearman correlation. So here, the following procedure would show us how to run Spearman correlation in JASP. So what you will have to do is to look for regression, and under regression, you choose correlation. Okay, when you choose correlation, this window will appear, right? Now we need to transfer the two variables, okay, from this part of the window to the variables box. So we have the self-control and academic performance. Basically, it won't matter which variable will come in first. Okay, so as what we have indicated, right, similar with our previous presentation, that there is no independent or dependent variable involved in the Pearson correlation. The same is true for the Spearman's correlation. Okay, now what are the other things that we need to generate? So here, from the same window, right, you need to tick, especially under sample correlation coefficient. Okay, so basically what will change will be we will choose Spearman's rho instead of Pearson's R, which we did when we are running the Pearson correlation. The other parts that you see here will be similar to what we've had in the Pearson correlation. So additional options would include display pairwise, report significance, and flag significant correlations. Okay, we also include the sample size so that we will see that in the table. Then we will need the scatter plot diagram also. Okay. And alternative hypothesis, we stick with the default, which is correlated. Okay. Now, take note here that there is no need to do assumption checks since normality is not a concern in the use of Spearman correlation. Okay? Because what we notice, one of the variables is in the ordinal level already. So automatic, we use the Spearman correlation. There is no need to check the normality. Right? Okay. Now, we continue. Okay, what will be the outputs generated? Okay? So what you will see is the correlation table and also the scatter plot diagram. All right? Now in here, in the scatter plot diagram that we see, self-control, there are 4 levels, okay, which we have denoted as 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then what we see in the vertical column will be the academic performance. So you see a trend here, okay? It goes in this direction. So it's monotonic, right? Now, going back in our correlation table, we will need to refer to the p-value. So the p-value that we see here is less than 0.001, which is obviously less than 0.05. So the moment the p-value that you have generated is less than 0.05, then we we decide to reject our null hypothesis. Rejecting our null hypothesis would lead us to conclude that there is a significant correlation, okay, between the two variables. Hence, we refer to our Spearman's rho. And the Spearman's rho value is 0.541, and that is greater than zero point 0.5, which will indicate that your distribution, or here, the magnitude of the correlation is strong. Okay, and take notice that the value is positive because the trend that we have observed in the scatter plot diagram is that it increases as you go to the right. Okay? So as can be seen in the correlation table, there is a significant strong positive correlation between self-control and academic performance. We denote using Spearman's rho or R sub S with our degrees of freedom, which is 192 minus 2 or n minus 2, for that matter, that will yield 190. And then our Spearman's rho coefficient is 0.541 with a p-value which is less than 0.001. Okay? Again, how did we classify that the correlation or the magnitude of the correlation is strong? We use the same general guidelines in Pearson correlation provided by Cohen to determine the strength and magnitude of the correlation as what we have indicated in the previous video. Okay? Now let's report our result. Right? So in here, right? We will need to present the following outputs, okay, from JASP software, and we conclude that a Spearman correlation was run to assess the relationship between self-control and academic performance of psychology students. 192 participants were recruited, and there was a strong positive correlation between self-control and academic performance of psychology students with the following parameters. That is R sub S, okay, of 190 is equal to 0.541, and that the p-value is less than 0.001. Okay, so this is how we interpret results of the Spearman's correlation using the JASP software. I have the list of references here. Okay, so we end our discussion. Thank you. And I hope you also refer to the first part of the discussion uh, covering Pearson's correlation.